All right, we're in round 2. We've got the choice again. Definitely playing first. Let's see here. No black sources yet, but I still feel comfortable with this hand, so I'll keep it. It's pretty, I guess it's land heavy, but I think this hand could still pan out fine. So I am going to actually play the Windswept Heath first for deck thinning purposes. It gives us a slight percentage or two better chance of drawing a black source or non-land cards, both of which seem pretty good in this spot. All right, so we'll crack before our draw step. Get a forest out there. Draw. Well, black spell's not exactly what we're looking for, but we'll take it. It's certainly a better draw than, say, a forest or an island. Interesting. Smoke teller. All right. Well, I'm going to give him a morph that he can feel free to identify. All right, well, a swamp off the top at this point would be very good for us. Embodiment of Spring wouldn't be bad either. I'm certainly going to feel okay if he pays his 2 mana to ID this morph guy. All right, Tuskguard Captain's pretty good. Let's see if we can't find a black source here. There it is. All right, well, did find the black source. So now the question is, I can't really comfortably attack into a Tuskguard Captain. I think we're just going to take our 4 damage, or lose our 4 life rather, and just play the Saddle Brute. My reason being, I feel like he's going to attack for 4 anyway, so I could either lose my morph and get a 4/5, but I think it seems much better to just play a Saddle Brute, lose our 4 life, pass, and go from there. Like if he plays a morph next turn, I can just injure it if I want. All right, so he is also a Sultai deck. Parapet. All right, that's actually a pretty good card to have against our Saddle Brute. But, interesting. He probably should have left up the green mana so he could outlast. Unless he just doesn't care about outlasting, I guess. All right, there's a land, which is fine. I think we just Soothsayer here. Potentially fine. I mean, we could swing with both dudes. Then he can crack back on us. We're a little bit far back on the life total currently. Yeah, I'm fine with Soothsayer. Let's just play that. Get it out there. Get some card advantage. Hopefully find something good. Guess we just take a Scavenger and then we pass. I would say that is definitely qualifies as good. So theoretically, next turn I can unmorph my Morph Dude plus play a Scavenger, which is pretty good actually. So I think I'll probably do that. Or can I do that? 2 mana, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I can't. Can't quite Scavenge plus unmorph yet. So I guess I'd rather just swing with both, see how he blocks, and then go from there. Second Tusk Guard captain. All right. It's a lot of Tusk Guard captains. So he is outlasting. All right. Well, in that case, I can attack with both my guys. See how he blocks. Scout the borders. Not too bad. So could I scout the... I could scout the borders. Still would not be able to unmorph this. Could play this for one, but I think we're going to stick to our game plan. So let's just swing with our Saddle Brute plus Morph guy. I think he's going to snap block the Saddle Brute with a Parapet, which isn't that bad. Let's see if he forces us to unmorph the Stalker. I'm not entirely sure he will yet. But if he does, no problems there. So I could injure this Parapet, but I think at this point I'm just going to deal some damage. I think we play the Backwater to get another Black Source, and then we'll just... Guess I could scout the borders plus Scavenger. Maybe that is better. Alright, let's scout the borders. Let's get Necropolis Fiend. Got rid of some pretty good cards there, but we're still in fine shape. So I play this for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we still have enough to play the Fiend the next turn. So I would say we're in pretty good shape still. All right, Tusk Colossadon can handle that. Opponent doesn't really have a good attack. We're going to go in defense mode here. 2 cards left in our opponent's hand. Definitely worthy of mentioning. All right, let's just play Jungle Hollow. Let's get in with Scavenger. And drop an Necropolis Fiend. And then pass. So I could have done an untapped land there, I guess. And having cards in the graveyard is actually kind of nice. For the more the merrier for our Necropolis Fiend, but he's definitely in some trouble from above, so we'll figure out what he's got. We can just double block the Colossadon, and then that gives our Necropolis Fiend more ammo to use as well. Just double block like that. He would need Become Immense to kill them both, but even if he does kill them both, our Necropolis Fiend can start taking some guys out. Alright, we end up trading a Saddle Brute for a Tusk Colossadon, which is a good trade for us anyway. Looks like he's just going for Outlast value at this point. That's a good draw. All right, so we'll just get in with our flyers. Yep. I think we're just going to hardcast the Loxodon post-combat. I could morph it, but I don't see any reason to do that. I guess morphing it, what is morphing it let me do? If I morph it, I can't unmorph it. I can only unmorph the Stalker. So I'd rather just hardcast it, especially since he knows what it is now. Alright. So we get in for a lot of damage. Play our Loxodon. And pass. Bit of Revelation. I guess we could do it pre-combat. Ooh. It's a pretty good one. Sultai Charm is nice. Guess we just take these two. Got some good spells there. Ditch these two. Alright, let's just play the Flayer now. That way if he kills any of our guys, we just gain too much life. So I guess we just swing Scavenger, Necropolis Fiend. Could swing at the Loxodon too, but he has a decent double block, so might as well just get in with flying dudes. Okay. Opponent ended up conceding, so it looks like we're playing against 4-color deck at the very least. Actually, I take that back. It could just be a teamer deck, and he could just be playing an Opulent Palace for green-blue fixing, which still makes plenty of sense. Actually, or it still works for this parapet too, so that's interesting. But it does seem like since he saw a couple mountains and only one black source, that he's more likely a teamer deck, splashing black just for extra value. So I don't think we've really got much of a sideboard based on what we saw. Look like just some Outlast dudes and blockers. So let's go again. All right, we're in game 2. We got another excellent hand. We have all 3 colors, so very good. Potentially very good turn progression depending on what we rip off the top. Hmm. 9 drop. Well, a little bit too early for our Necropolis Fiend to be good, but it is our bombiest spell in the deck, so I guess at some point it'll become valuable. Alright, Heir of the Wilds is a good card. Let's, well, we're on point to get to our Sultai Flare relatively soon. I guess there's no reason to use the Windswept Heath just yet, since we kind of want to draw lands. Alright, Tuskguard Captain. So I think I'm going to toss out my Glacial Stalker as a card I would like to trade with the Heir of the Wilds. I could do the Loxodon, but I kind of like the Loxodon more for the late game. So we're going to just drop the Glacial Stalker, and I'm going to offer it as a trade for his Heir of the Wilds. It also makes our Delve guys cheaper, so no issues there. Next turn we've got Sultai Flare as well, which is nice. Nice little roadblock. Only green sources out of our opponent so far, which is actually good. Something I like to see. If he has Awaken the Bear, yeah, he could Death Touch and he's going to deal 4 damage to us, but I'm just going to allow that. Could add Savage Punch here, which is very good. But we will still allow it. Alright, Morph guy, not a big deal. Let's see if he's willing to trade his Heir of the Wilds, because I am legitimately curious. He does not want to. Okay. Well, let's just go ahead and play a Sultai Flare and pass. If he attacks with the Morph, we double block, because even though he can kill, I don't know much that he could do with it. He doesn't even have the 3 colors, so it's not a Snowhorn Rider. Could be a, what could it be? Could be a Pine Walker, the 5/5, but I'm still fine with a double block here. We'd end up gaining some life. He has to pay all the mana. And even if he kills them both, Shambling Attendants gets cheaper, as does the Necropolis Fiend. I think it's likely a Pine Walker. And it is. Alright, well, I'm happy to get rid of a Pine Walker and gain 4 life and keep my Glacial Stalker, so not unhappy with that exchange at all. I mean, we did lose a Sultai Flare, which is good for him, not so good for us, but I don't think that's a huge deal. Alright. Well, here I think I'm going to play one of my tap lands. I could play the Windswept Heath to make the Glacial Stalker be able to unmorph, but I think I'm okay with just getting another black source out there. Actually, let's do the Jungle Hollow so we have another green source too. So we play Jungle Hollow, and then we just snap off a little Woolly Loxodon and pass. And at this point, if he wants to swing in with the Heir of the Wilds, that's okay too. I guess it can swing for 3, but we can crack back for a lot more damage with the Woolly Loxodon. Finally found his blue source, so he's in some Teamer territory at this point. Tusked Colossadon, alright. Swinging with both. Alright, well, in that case, we're going to double block the Tuskguard Captain, because taking that out seems good. It also makes our Shambling Attendants cheap, and I think with the help of the Windswept Heath, we should actually be able to play our Shambling Attendants to stop the Tusk Colossadon, and he killed the Morph guy that I care less about. In fact, now I guess I'm just in an okay position to play a land and pass, and then have a guy that blocks too good for our opponent's Tusk Colossadon. So I think we go for that plan. Sure, he can swing in for 3, but we're at a pretty healthy life total here, so I think I just leave up 6 mana, leave back the Tusk Colossadon. Could have a bounce spell or something, but that would work just as effectively against our Shambling Attendants. So is he going to be so bold as to attack with Tusk Colossadon? Alright, well, could have a pump effect, but I'm not going to play around it. So we'll just block and unmorph. So we block. Crack the Windswept Heath. Should have actually done that first. Probably should have done it a while ago, because I guess technically he could have responded with removal there and I wouldn't have been able to unmorph. Which is like the one time you can be good against morph stuff like that. So even if he didn't have it, so we got just ridiculous value there. Just ate his fatty, and we're left with a enormous Woolly Loxodon. So I think we're playing Necropolis Fiend at this point. All right. Ooh, Bellowing Saddle Brute too. Can I do multiple things? Let's see. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 8. Nope, I'm one short of being able to do Saddle Brute plus Attendance. But I think we just swing with the Loxodon for 6. And then we'll drop Attendance because, well, I guess we could do Necropolis Fiend too. I'd rather him kill Attendance, but he clearly doesn't have any removal because he was completely untapped and he could not deal with our Shamling Attendance. So I think we'll just do the Necropolis Fiend instead. Let's pay for it as cheaply as possible here. Oops. That's not going to work. So we've got a pretty big army here. Could have a force away and then crash in for 8, which I guess would be pretty good for him, but then we can follow up with like Saddle Brute or Attendance or whatever we want, really. All right. Yeah, I think leaving it back is actually wiser because we're going to get to crash in with our Loxodon again. Otherwise. Now I don't have to, but otherwise he could have. Mystic. All right. Poses a bit of a threat, but my Necropolis Fiend can take that out as soon as I can put a card in my graveyard. Like Sultai Soothsayer. Kind of want to play the Saddle Brute this turn, but let's see. I can play Soothsayer and kill his Mystic. Kind of like that. But I guess since we're winning the race, it seems kind of unnecessary. Can I play Soothsayer plus Attendance? Soothsayer puts 3 cards in my yard, which bring me up to 4 cards. 5, tap me down to only 2 lands, so not quite enough. So I guess we'll just play our Dismal Backwater, and I think we'll just swing with the Necropolis Fiend because we're currently winning the race. And could just drop the Saddle Brute. Or I could drop the Attendance as well. I could also drop the Soothsayer, but kind of like having a couple more creatures to slam into him with. I mean, I can play Soothsayer and maybe even find a removal for that Heir of the Wilds, which would be pretty good. Another Tuscalocedon. There's a lot of Tuscalocedons in a deck. Alright, so he gets to get in for some damage here with that Mystic, which is okay. As I said, we are winning the race currently, so No immediate dangers. Let's drop Sultai Soothsayer pre-combat. Leave open a source of each color. Maybe find a debilitating injury or Sultai Charm. So we'll Sultai Charm it. Guess we could Flare it too. But no, let's Charm it. And then we'll play Dismal Backwater. We're one land short of playing the Attendants, so we could just kill the Mystic of the Hidden Way now. But I don't think that's necessary. I think we just get in with our dude and pass. No cards left in our opponent's hand. I would say we're pretty comfortably further ahead on the board. Alright, take our 6 damage. We're going to be able to crack back for lethal, I think, because of that attack. Alright, so we'll just kill his big fatty. He's left with 2 blockers to our 4 attackers, which does equate to lethal unless he has removal, and even if he has removal, we still have a follow-up. Shamling Attendants. All right, got the match. Very good. We'll see you in round 3.